Good morning. Welcome back. I told you we'd start a new chapter book today, and here it is. Top Secret. It is by John Reynolds Gardner. And the picture, you're not seeing things. This boy is green. So when I get a new book, I always, while I read the title, check out the author, flip through, make sure it's not too hard for me. Now, I always read the back to see if I'm interested. So here is the back. Alan has a green thumb and a green hand, green arm, and green body. Alan Brewster is a normal kid, except for one thing. Ever since he solved the mystery of human photosynthesis for his school science project, he's been turning green, sprouting roots, and has a constant urge to guzzle water and soak up the sun. Alan is turning into a plant. It's as plain as day. But there are only two people on Earth who believe him. One is his grandfather. The other is the President of the United States, who says that Alan is a threat to national security. Suddenly, Green Alan Brewster and his discovery are top secret, which is why the book is called Top Secret. So today we are going to read the prologue and chapter 1. Now, a prologue, if you don't know, as I turn into the front of the book, we've got the title page, some acknowledgments. That just means who helped him write the book, who we'd like to thank, our table of contents, and then a prologue. It's spelled a little funny, prologue. That is basically a preview to the book. So some authors include a prologue. Some people just put that information in chapter 1. So here is our short prologue. I'm writing this down in case something should happen to me. My name is Alan Brewster. I'm 9 years old. I live at 4152 Via Solano. It's the big 2-story house, the one with the tile roof. Today is Saturday, June 20th, 2 weeks after school let out for the summer. The time is 10:30 at night. There's a brown car parked outside in the street with 2 men in it. They're watching the house. I have the lights off in my room to make them think I'm asleep. I'm really under the covers writing this down in the back of my old science notebook. I better hurry because the batteries in my flashlight won't last forever, and I have a lot to tell. My story begins several months ago in Miss Green's science class at school. And on we go to chapter 1, which is Miss Green. It was the day we had to tell Miss Green what our science projects were going to be. I was excited because I thought of something really neat. You see, Miss Green made a big deal out of these science projects. At the end of the year, there was a science fair, and the schools from all over the country were represented. There were awards and prizes and a silver trophy for the best project. There was also an award for the best science teacher, an award Miss Green had never won, but she wanted to. That's why your science project was more important than your homework or even your test scores. Last year, Miss Green had actually flunked 2 kids because their projects weren't good enough. Now, you ready to see Miss Green? There's Miss Green. She didn't look very happy. Come to order, came the sound of Miss Green's deep voice, and there was instant quiet in the room. Miss Green stood facing the class, her hands on her hips, her mouth curved downward into a frown. She was a big woman with a large head and a large lower lip that curled up like a bulldog. Let's start with you, Peggy. Miss Green had written each student's name on the blackboard in alphabetical order, starting with Peggy Applegate. I was next. Ant Farm, said Peggy, who was sitting right in front of me. Stand up when you address me. Peggy shot to her feet, her pigtails swaying. I'm sorry, I forgot. She took a deep breath. I want to do an ant farm for my science project, if that's all right. Miss Green grumbled. In my 20 years of teaching, there has never been a year without an ant farm. Why should this year be any different? As she walked to the blackboard, the tractor tread soles of her shoes made squishy sounds on the slick linoleum floor. Where are all the thinkers of tomorrow? The scientists, the engineers? They had to be kids once, didn't they? She picked up a stick of chalk with her thick fingers. How I've longed to find a student in my class with an original idea. Someone who showed real imagination. Just one. That isn't too much to ask, is it? Miss Green wrote the words Ant Farm on the blackboard in large capital letters next to Peggy's name. Alan Brewster, came the sound of my name in a voice that sounded more like a bark than a speech. My heart began to pound against my chest as I stood up. I noticed everyone in the class was looking at me. I couldn't wait to tell Miss Green about my project. She'd said she wanted something original. Well, she was going to get it. I have an idea, I said. It's going to win the silver trophy. Everyone in the class started laughing. Peggy Applegate twisted around in her seat and was grinning at me with a mouthful of braces. Barry Kramer, who sits right behind me and is the toughest kid in 4th grade, started kicking my chair. Even Miss Green looked as if she were about to laugh. The silver trophy, she said. Now really, Alan, you know as well as I do that the silver trophy is usually won by a senior in high school. No one in grammar school has ever won it. Grammar school means elementary school. A kid in the 10th grade won it one year. Yes, agreed Miss Green, but Alan, he was a genius. So maybe I am too, I said. Everyone laughed again. Believe me, Alan, said Miss Green, I can think of nothing I would like better than to have you win the silver trophy. But we must be realistic. Wanting to and being able to are two different things. Don't you even want to know what my idea is? Of course, replied Miss Green, looking over my head at the clock in the back of the room. But don't take too much time. We still have to hear from everyone else. I was sure as soon as Miss Green heard what I wanted to do, she would change her mind. I'm going to do my project on human photosynthesis, I told her. Miss Green said nothing. She just looked at me. I got the idea last night at dinner, I explained. My mom fixes liver every Thursday. I can't stand liver. And then it just sort of hit me. Plants don't have to eat, right? So why do humans? Why can't we get our food directly from the sun the way plants do? Are you saying sunlight would be our food? Yes, and a little water. This is your brilliant idea, the one that's going to win the silver trophy? Yes. You won't find a project more original than that at the science fair. I'm sure of it. And you know what, Miss Green? You'll probably win Best Science Teacher because my idea is so good. Miss Green seemed totally lost for words. She rubbed her face with both her hands for a long time. When she finally looked at me, her eyes were red. That is, beyond a doubt, the most ridiculous idea for a science project I have ever heard in my entire life. Why? You said you wanted something original. First of all, said Miss Green, the mystery of plant photosynthesis, the process by which plants convert sunlight into food, has only recently been discovered and is still not fully understood in every detail. Well, that's why I want to do it. And secondly, to adapt photosynthesis to humans is impossible. Why? It just is. But why? There must be a reason. You just don't know what it is. Miss Green's eyes narrowed into razor blades. There's one thing I do know, Alan Brewster. You were told to have an idea for a project by today. You obviously didn't do your assignment. That's not true. So let me tell you what I'm going to do. Since you couldn't think of anything, I'm going to think of a project for you. Do you think she's going to pick something he likes? Let's see. She walked to the blackboard, picked up the chalk, and wrote one word to the right of my name. You guys ready for it? Lipstick. You will do your project on lipstick, Alan, Miss Green said. And if it's not the best project on lipstick I've ever seen, I'll flunk you so fast your head'll spin. But what about human photosynthesis? Assuming it were possible, which it isn't, it would take a genius. And believe me, Alan Brewster, a genius you are not. My goodness. Well, I hope you don't think I'm like Miss Green, because I'm not like Miss Green. So think about, what do you think might happen in the next chapter? Do you think Alan will do a project on lipstick? I mean, we do know from the cover that he is green at some point. So think about what might happen next, make some predictions, and we will tune back in tomorrow. Talk to you guys soon.